Hello there, friends, and welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Eric.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, friend? And my good friend Roots. Roots, it all comes down to this, brother. The last episode of 2021, or the last numbered episode, we'll call it. We obviously are going to be back on the air quite a few times in December, but this concludes our broadcast schedule for the year. How do you feel?
I almost teared up a little bit. It was a little sentimental earlier. Although I'm a little discombobulated. I have no chat in front of me. I totally missed it,
2021, or
and
the last.
now I hear you talking about the last. Well, not really the last episode in my ear, so I had to turn that off. Other than that, I'm good. Everything's good. I think it
We
was.
should have done we should have done like a bro hug before we came in.
I thought about it doing a virtual bro hug, but that's kind of what we kind of did a little bit.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
just yeah.
Well, there's gonna be plenty of opportunities to bro hug next week as we all dive headfirst into Zombieland, Frozen LA, when After the Fall launches on let's see, 5 more days, 5 days from now.
That's
I
crazy,
can't
right?
wait.
I'm excited. I almost
Can't wait.
returned my Steam version, and then I slapped my hand and said, "What are you doing, Roots?
Don't do
I
it.
needed those 2 days early. I have to be in there, right?"
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got PlayStation that's also going to be 2 days early. So I'm going to play it though. I'm going to see how it feels with the aim controller
Mm.
before I decide to refund the Steam copy. But I don't know if I will or if I won't. I might just keep them all because I plan on using them all. And I mean, we heard Tamtu in the chat on Sunday. He
Mm.
doesn't really know what the deal is with Viveport, and same thing from Skiva. Skiva's like, we want to launch on, simultaneously on Viveport, but we don't know. We
Mm.
can't get an answer from HTC, so we don't know for sure that it's even going to be on Viveport day one. Um, but we assume that even if it's not Rift, right? You know,
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's crazy is if you think about it from a business standpoint, I don't think you would want it to come out on Viveport on day one. You kind of want, even if it's a week later, you want because this whole thing. How many people, like even yourself, you just admitted because we don't know, you're apt to buy it instead of wait and play it on the service, right? So I mean, it's kind of smart in a sense because the whole key is you want to sell copies. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And and Steam, Steam's got would be pissed off if they did that. You know what I mean? How many sales would they lose? And you know how Steam is. They're like, they want first rights to everything. They want, exclusive. So I mean, I gotta think that Steam has something to say with this, and they're gonna at least give them a week or 2 weeks where they have to have, the first rights to it or whatever.
Mm. Radio
yeah,
Run says he's
no,
not
no,
buying it. He's not going to buy it until he plays it on Viveport just in case it sucks ass. Well, I've already played it. I know it doesn't suck ass. I can tell
it
you. We've
does
already
not.
told you that, Radio Run. You're going to buy it, bro. We need you in there. I need you, bro.
Yeah, man, like, I think about it multiple times a day, for example, yesterday, I'm trying to decide what I wanna stream, right? And I'm bouncing back and forth between this game and that game and this game and that game, and the whole time I'm thinking, "What do I wanna play?" Well, I wanna play After the Fall, but I can't. So what else do I wanna play? It does not suck. I put in 15 hours of gameplay into a sub 30-minute level, so do the math. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I told Wes and Roos earlier today. I'm like, I don't. It's weird. I don't want to play anything else right now. It's
Mm.
tough for me to get into anything. And
Yeah,
then I got in some Russia blood. So I was like, that took my mind off of it.
that's why I
We're
bought
feeling
this because I need some kind of I
Oh
need some
yeah,
kind of something to play until after the fall comes out that's zombie related, right?
this.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Gonna get my zombie fix, yo.
Yeah.
I've been itching for Returnal, to be honest. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to get that urge back to dive back into that loop again.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
know what else? You know what else? And this is the God's honest truth. What I'm going to be putting a lot of time into over the next couple of weeks. Song in the Smoke. I feel
No.
like it deserves. Uh, you know, I feel like when we've got guys like Brian, Paul, and AJ out there saying this is the only 10 out of 10 that we've played this year. And granted, they're talking about PlayStation platform exclusively. We're going to be doing PlayStation VR Game of the Year in a month. So I feel like with those guys saying that this game deserves more time from us. Like they finished it, we didn't make it halfway through. And Roots, you're going to like this. Today they updated it, or yesterday they updated it with the Savage update, which adds a hard difficulty, but it also adds an easy difficulty as well. So if you find
Mm.
yourself dying a little too often, you might want to switch into that easy difficulty and give it another shot.
I already switched it right now in my mind.
There you go.
It'll be switched to easy forever. I'm assuming I don't have to eat as much, and maybe it's not like screaming at me the whole time that says, "Hey, Roots, you're hungry." I don't like to be
Man, I'm
hungry.
hungry.
Yeah, well, I guess at least
Man, I'm hungry.
better than hearing it in real life. And I know, Wes, you said you don't think it's that bad, and I think I could probably mitigate it by actually eating. Then it wouldn't be in my face the whole time. That's my plan next time. But I think an easy mode sounds very good to me.
So I'm going to start over. I'm going to completely start that game over. I think I might try the immersive mode, which severely limits the HUD so that
Mm.
it's just the game world that you're in and not all this other little extra crap in your face. Because I do love that world. I thought that world was intriguing, and I want to know what the deal is with it. Why are there three-headed crows flying around and
Yeah.
It
all
is
these little weird animals?
It is bizarre, and it does make me want to know what the hell is going on. And an easy mode will ensure that that happens a little bit more likely, I guess. And Dark Angels has turned the spiders to Pikachu, and she's in. Didn't they? What was that? That's Shadowgate that does that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shadow
such a good game.
So, Scion says, "Damn, I'm thirsty."
Yeah. So
Uh,
so I'm like thinking, I've got a couple, man. I want to finish. Here's my goal. I'm going to finish Lone Echo. I'm going to finish
Definitely,
Sniper Elite. I'm going to
definitely as
finish,
well.
probably going to have to finish Medal of Honor. And I would like to finish Song in the Smoke, but I don't know,
mm,
man. that's a lot in 1 month.
I'm
you
going
could
to
do
do
it.
some more. I'm going to do some more Medal of Honor. I'm definitely going to finish Sniper Elite. I'm definitely going to finish Lone Echo 2. Um, Medal of Honor, I don't know, man. That's a lot of
Hmm.
game, and I feel like I know what that game is already. Like I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what it is.
Yeah.
From everything I've heard, though, the latter 3 quarters of that game is really when it gets really, really good. So I think I need to see it. Need to see it.
Mm.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. We'll that's what this is about, right? This is why we're not going to try to adhere to any kind of set schedule for the rest of the month. It's so that we can do our due diligence with these games, and when it comes to selection time, award winner selection time, um, we'll have it. You know, we'll have that experience to fall back on. Now, going into the next month, we're going to lean on our community a bit, as we always do going into the 2020 show. And the first thing that we need to ask you guys for is your help with the categories. What kind of awards would you like to see us hand out? So, what you'll notice over the next week, you'll notice a channel go up in our Discord, and it will be for category suggestions. And what we're looking for is actually two different things. One could just be the generic award, you, you know, best shooter, best horror game, these types of things. The other thing we're looking for out of you is creative and funny titles for these awards, because a lot of the entertainment value of the 2021 show is going to be these off the wall category names that we come up with. And let me see if I've got a document up here that can kind of give you an example of the type of things that we're talking about. And you guys feel free to, you know,
What was the Jank award? There was like a Jank award, wasn't there, or something like that? What was the name of that one? It was like the game with the most Jank, wasn't there, or something like that? I know there was the
probably,
Hands award. The Jerry Rice award was the
yeah,
award
Jerry
back
Rice Award. And
I think the
then there
channel's
was
still there. It's just
the
hidden.
Wonder Bra Award was the best ongoing
then.
support.
Support.
I love it.
Let's see here.
I remember who won that though. That was That was what was the space one, right?
It was
The
probably No Man's
No
Sky.
Man's Sky. That's what I'm thinking of. The space one.
I think we should just rename that award the No Man's Sky Award because those guys have taken it to a whole new level with regards to how you support your game once you bring it into VR.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through my notes here to see if I still have the notes from that. All right, so let's see here. 2020 show. Where are we at? There we go. 2020 show.
Dark Angel
All
says
right.
the Wonder Brow Award should be renamed the Over the Shoulder Boulder Holder Award.
All
I
right, so
like
we
it.
had the Gateway Drug Award for the best first dose of VR, Geekonomic Stimulus Award for the best free game, the Top Ramen Award for the best budget game, uh, the Marley Matlin Award for the best gesture-based controls. Oh, all right. The Bad Neighbor Award, the VR game most likely to make you move. Um, the the Shocker Award with the biggest surprise in the end. Um, you guys get the idea. Uh, we have the 420 award, of course, for the best game to look at through bloodshot eyes. Um, you know, there's a lot. There were a lot of awards. We did close to 50 awards. We had the Striking Vipers Award for the best co-op gameplay.
That's so good.
Yeah. Anyway, um, we need you to make some suggestions. And as I said just a moment ago, we'll have a Discord channel up for you in short order. What do you think, guys? Like a week, 10 days, maybe a week and a half. We'll give people to make suggestions, and then we will put together the categories, and then we will come live on the air and tell you guys what all those categories are going to be.
Yep.
And then at that point, you can vote. You can nominate uh, games for each category, and then at the end of that process, we will choose winners.
A lot of work.
Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of work. That again, that's why we have to stop with the weeklies, man, because there's no way that we can keep up with it. Now, with that said, there's going to be content we're going to cover after the fall launch next week. Yesterday, we did our recording for our first episode of On Location. We went on location from Demio with Shadowgate creator Dave Marsh, and it was a great time. And we talked about some cool stuff. Mostly, honestly, we tell these guys they don't have to talk about their games, but most of what we talked about with Dave was Shadowgate and the future of that game and that franchise in VR. We also did kind of go into some behind the scenes stuff with, you know, uh, the way that, traditional developers see VR and the potential to have more games and franchises like Shadowgate come into VR. It was a fun time, and we just got to get it all edited up now. And you guys should have that one in a few days.
Yep. That's fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun trying to figure out who these Game of the Month winners are going to be. Dudes, I mean, we had quite a month for VR. What do we have here? Like 15 games to talk about today. Typically, we don't have that many, but October and November, it's just been balls to the wall release after release.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of them in there. A lot of them, as I was looking through and looking at some of these titles or researching some of them, just didn't do that well or did okay. And it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of a weird time for VR. But I guess we'll talk about it.
One of the things that Eric that really sticks out to me about this month's games is just how different our opinions can be from the traditional reviewers and some of the bigger websites and channels on YouTube. Like some of the games that were my favorite out of the list from each platform this month didn't necessarily review well, and a lot of times people accuse us of liking everything. That's not the case. We just typically don't cover the ones that we don't like. If a game's bad, we just don't talk about it. But some of the games that we really enjoyed this month, a lot of people are really down on, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some sites out there, and not all, but there are some sites out there that don't put enough time into these games. You know what I mean? Or they do them way too fast, and they put a small amount of time in, and they jump right out of them. So they get first impressions, and that's it. And then they're putting full reviews on it. So we don't put as much time as we would like to in some of these games just because we're all extremely busy. But I think we wait on them, which is a good thing, and we put time into games that we want to play, and that's important for everybody to know. We don't play garbage, and we don't play stuff we don't want to play, and we're not going to review stuff we don't want to play. So if somebody says, "Oh, geez, you guys love everything," well, we're not going to play something we don't want to play because we don't have time to put put time into a bad game. So, if it's trash, we're just not going to play it. So you're not going to hear us talk about it. So if you see us put time into a game, it's probably a pretty good game.
Right. Or you might actually see us not 100% liking a game in this conversation at the end of the month because, we're just talking about all the games. If we tried something and we're like, yeah, I don't think that was that good. But I guess we'll see.
Well, here's an example. One of the games we covered on Sunday, one of the featured topics of the week was Warchasm, because I thought from the promo material that game looked pretty good. So following the show, I went in and checked it out. Guess what? Not very good.
No.
It's pretty vanilla, man. It's a pretty straightforward and generic wave shooter. It's on rails, but that rail is as straight as they come. It does not deviate. There's no left and right. There's no uh it gets faster, it gets slower. The rail is constant, it is straight. The enemies are, generic and repetitive. Work has them not a very good game. Now, I mean, it wasn't terrible. I did play it for a while. Like I played it for probably close to an hour. But I mean, I probably won't be going back to it. But these are the type of games that we typically I wouldn't have said that. I would have just not said anything unless somebody asked me about it.
Why are you
But
trashing the game, bro? No, just kidding.
yeah, that's right.
How dare
See,
you?
that's what you'll
I
hear
feel
from
like
somebody in the chat. They'll be like, "That was fucked up. That Wes trashed the game when he just gave his honest opinion and he said it was good, or I guess okay." But I don't know. That's
it
just
was basic. In 2016, I probably would have dug it a little bit more. But after you play something like Rush of Blood and then you go to something like this, I mean, it is just in a whole other league. It's not even the same thing. Like, it's a very, I mean, it's obvious why it's App Lab. That is an App Lab game. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's vanilla, and that's how I say it. It's very plain. It's okay. It's okay for and I don't even know the price of it, but if it's like $10 or something like that, it's a fun little time distractor if you're looking for something just to jump into. But
The
it's not.
skyboxes were beautiful. I can say that about it. The skyboxes were really, really
Yeah,
impressive. The problem is that they don't change. Like you'll
yeah,
have 3 levels in a row with exactly the same skybox and scenery, and the only thing that changes is the environmental hazards that you have to dodge. Um, it's a good concept. I feel like if they if they put a lot more time into uh, modernizing it, some of the concepts that they use in that game could factor into a better game. That one's just not very good.
yeah. Yeah, it's just very it's on the premise of pistol whip, right? Like you said, you don't move. You're dead straight, going straight through a level, and you can tip your cart a little bit left or right, but yeah, it's just you got no options. You just sit there and you're shooting stuff, and it's just a wave shooter. That's all it is.
Scion in the chat says you got to finish Mist too. Now listen, Scion. If you
No way,
wanted me
bro.
to finish Mist, if you wanted me to finish Mist, you should have said that yesterday or last week or the week before that. All I've been doing on Tuesday is playing what Scion wants me to play,
Yeah, it's
and
that's
I've
the
been
new.
having a blast. I've been having a blast. I got to be honest about it, but there's only so much time, bro. I can't start on Mist now.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know who was impressed with your stream last night was Brian, Paul, and AJ. They were watching you last night, and they were super impressed that you went back into the Solus project.
Dude, it's getting creepy, man. It's getting super creepy, like borderline horror game creepy.
Yeah, I'm not finishing Mist, by the way. That's not gonna happen, bro.
I don't think I'm finishing most of anything. My thing is I'll go as deep as I can get to play and enjoy, but I just don't feel compelled to finish almost any of the games you guys talked about. I just
What?
I'm just in the point where I don't want to I want to play a bunch of stuff and I want to play them as deep as I want to play, but I don't want to set a limit and say I have to finish this, I have to finish that. Like I don't, man, I think we're running out of time, bro, on this planet. You know what I mean? So I at some point I can't, I just can't finish every game out there, and nor do I want to finish every game. But I do want to enjoy and experience all these games out there. So
Here's,
For the record, I'm not setting limits for myself. These are the games that I want to finish. Like
no,
these are, and
I'm
if I get in there and I don't have a good time and I want to put them down, I'll end up putting them down.
no, that's by not doubting that. I'm just telling you my thoughts. Is I just don't want to.
I want you to finish Yuki. You got to do that before the end of the year.
Yuki, bro.
Yuki.
Miriam Drew says, "I'm on Oculus Quest 2 browser. What's up, bro? Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. You should try out Couch. That'd probably be a little more comfy for you." Anyway, we did have a lot of awesome releases this month, so let's not dilly dally any longer. Let's kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Keith Valdez says Yuki is great.
Hell yeah.
That's what I heard. Wolveraza says, I finished a lot of games, but I also have a lot of time on my hands. Yeah, I'm jealous, bro. I wish I had time to finish more and play more, but I got shits I got to do. Andrew Kiros says Ruuts has priorities. Yes, he does.
Did you see what Maddie Matt says? You know who hates it when you don't finish?
My mom.
She gets pissed.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
ET2K9 now says, I am Ruuts. Who's going to win the game challenge? And I think he's talking about the Beat It challenge. And I mean, I guess we should just cards on the table with the Beat It challenge. We kind of walked away from that one. I don't know. What about the beginning of the summer, Ruuts? Because, I don't want to get too in detail about it, but, things came up and we didn't really have time to play. And it didn't seem like it was going to be a fair competition. Now, with that said, if you want to pick it back up, which from what you just said, everything you just said, I got to imagine you don't want to pick it back up, the finishing games contest.
You know what I was thinking? What I would like to do is transfer everything I've done over to MASH and have you guys battle it out. Because you guys seem to want to finish games and I just don't. Like, you know what I mean? I just I can't. So, I mean, I will finish games that I want to finish, just like you said. It's just very few and far between that I feel like I need to finish it.
But as you can see, we lost our motivation to finish games about halfway through the year, and it didn't seem fair for me to just it was not fun unless everybody's committed. Now, with that said, I will go ahead and throw the gauntlet down with MASH right now.
Yeah.
If you want a 2022 Beat It challenge, and we actually see it through to the end of the year, I'm down, bro. I will beat more games than you next year, and we can put some stakes behind it if you want to, like some kind of a prize or something.
How about stakes? I like stakes. We can put stakes behind it.
Yeah, like some actual stakes.
I think it's on like Donkey Kong.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sion said, "Rest in peace, Beat It challenge. We barely knew you. Not so fast. The Beat It challenge is coming back next year, and it sounds to me like I have a motivated opponent, and that should make for some fun content."
So I think I'm gonna have to get divorced and quit my job and Ruuts, live on this couch.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Beat It challenge, Eric. You have to prove that you legit beat it, and the way you do that is by recording and publishing all of it, every minute. So it's quite an undertaking. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to get too bogged down with editing because that'll take up your game time. What you want to do is live stream. You want to live stream instead of putting out edited video.
Or if you can't live stream it, just do what I did, or what I always said, which was record it for live stream style, which is lazy, no editing. You just say, "Oh, I'm just putting it out as it is, and you're gonna take it as it is, because I said so." Hey, that is something we need to get back into. I like that one because I said so.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Too many
I would love
ideas,
to do
man.
that. I want to tell you guys what to play.
I want Mash to tell me what to play.
Yeah, right.
I already been playing Yuki, brother.
Oh, that's right.
We'd be playing Taco Face and
Oh, the good stuff.
Washy Wash.
Well, we have lots of great ideas, obviously, for content going into the new year. We only need more time. I long for the day that I can do this full time, and when that day comes, you guys are going to be in for a treat because I'm going to be able to do everything that we want to do. But until then, we're going to continue to do our best to live within our means and still provide you innovative, unique, and the best VR content on YouTube, bar none, son.
That's
That's
right.
right. Anyway, uh, let's see. I lost my spot in the chat. ET2K9 now is in the chat, as is Keith Valdez, Traveling Man 3775. Matty Matt 2323 says, "You know who hates it when you don't finish?"
My mom.
Yeah. All right, here we are. I found my spot. Scion, we already said hello to. Wolveraza, I think we did as well. Mr. Tasselhoff, Taz is in the chat. Says, a great night is when the child sleeps for all of it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Dark Angel is in the house. What's up, Dark? Andrew Kiros. Troy Gillis. What's up, friend? My sister is in the chat. Hello, Ashley. And Terry Church, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Says, how about the 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag award for I nominate Beat Saber.
Beat Saber,
Yes.
thank God, can't win any awards anymore. It's so old.
Who was it? Who was it? Who said that? I love that.
That
guy.
was Terry Church.
Oh, Terry Church is a man. Love Terry Church.
Oh, he said that
Beat
about
Saber.
synth riders, though.
No, wait,
No,
wait,
just,
hold on,
just
wait.
kidding.
We all know Beat Saber's hot garbage. Nobody wants to play that shit.
Diz the Game Cat says, I hear there's going to be an update on Vertigo 2 tomorrow. Well, I mean, that update should say that it's launching because, geez, man, you guys been working on that game forever.
Yeah. I'm done.
Vertigo 3 might come out before Vertigo 2 does.
Right. They'll announce Vertigo 3, and then they'll announce that Vertigo 2 Remastered is in the works as well, even though Vertigo 2 is not out yet.
He's going to become Joyway.
Yeah, right. Decepticon, oh ye. Radio Runt, what's up? He says, keep it real. Always, friend, always. Sin is back, 83. Hello. And of course, at the very top, VR Spry Guy says, final show before the marathon.
Wow.
Final scheduled show before the marathon. We will be back in podcast form. But more often than not, the content you're going to get from us in December is going to be mostly gameplay content. It's either going to be Back for Blood, co-op streams. It's going to be we got a few cool ideas for split streams that we want to do, which is when two of us play the game and you see both feeds on the screen at once, and then we have a moderator, be it Ruuts or myself or Eric, who's on camera talking to the chat, talking to us while we play. The beautiful thing about that is we can do that with single player games. So like we can kind of co-op a single player game now and all talk about it while it's happening. So we're going to do some split streams. Obviously, we have On Location that we just talked about. We've already got the second episode of On Location scheduled. We're going to be shooting that next week, so you'll probably get that before the end of the month as well. There's going to be lots of great content, is my point. But we will be back to discuss the categories and the possible nominees. So there will be at least one more podcast style show before we get to 2021 show.
Yeah.
Hardest working channel in the business.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I could take that, but most unique, most original content. I'll take that all day long.
Who else is doing 3 shows a week? Or 2 shows?
Well, you know, there's a lot of there's different types of work. All these people that put out these videos with massive editing, it's a lot of work too. Sion wants to know if it's the 2021 show is going to be on New Year's Day or is it not set? I don't think we've set an actual definitive day, but it's somewhere around there,
No,
right?
no, I'm going to put together a promo video or two before we get there. You guys will know plenty in advance what day that's going to fall on. But typically, yeah, it's around the 1st or the 2nd of January when we do it.
Your sister says she's got some cool ideas too for the custom pajamas for the big show.
I
I am
bet you
so
do.
Love
excited,
it.
Ashley.
Christmas jammies.
Yes. Woo! Virtual Strangers jammies,
Yeah.
bro.
I can't wait to see Wes in Christmas jammies. I can't wait.
I
Wow.
was on Twitter earlier today, and Gamertag VR was on there, and his tweet read, "I've been working on this video for 9 hours now. Hopefully, it will launch tomorrow." So
Yeah. So
Hopefully.
that's the thing is these people I mean that's their life. They put a lot of time and work into it, right? So they are very hardworking.
yeah, yeah. Well, that guy's pretty close to being able to go full time. I got to imagine I'd be pushing pretty hard if I were him too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I
for
can't
sure.
think of a better person that deserves success or or a harder worker.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
100%.
that guy lives it. That's for sure.
Hell yeah.
And he puts a lot of time into supporting others too. That's the thing about GT. He's always been one to lift up those around him. Um, not just other smaller content creators like us, but game developers, small studios. He tries to help people make their games better. That guy is literally all about the life, 24/7,
mm,
and yeah, man, he's a great dude, and he deserves his success. That's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, let's say we dive into some game talk. Let's start off the way we normally do by looking at what happened in PlayStation VR this month. Typically, uh, it's a crapshoot with PSVR. We don't know if we're going to get 10 games from them or zero. We've had both over the course of 2021. And I'm happy to say November was actually a pretty strong month in terms of new releases for PSVR. And they kicked it off on the 11th of November with a brand new puzzler, Gravitational, coming to us from Electric Monkeys Studio. This one retailed for $20. Um, cards on the table. There are a few games that on each of these lists that we did not play this month. This being one of them. I have no idea uh, if this would have been something I considered fun, but I do know how it reviewed, and it's kind of milk toast.
Mm.
Like it's okay according to people. It's okay. It's a decent puzzler, but probably not going to be the winner this month.
Yeah, three reviews on Steam. Two of them were negative, and everybody several reviews that I saw not on Steam. Everybody was saying the same thing that there's clipping into stuff that you can. They said it was the frustrating thing is like you're moving around in this wheelchair, and it was just hitting into stuff a lot. So at least from what I read, so I don't know. It kind of sucks. I
Yeah.
would love to have tried it, although at the same time, everything I said earlier makes me not want to try it after what you just said. So
It's good. It's about a 3 out of 5 according to most people. It's just an average puzzle game. It's got pretty graphics. It's got decent puzzles. There are some challenges with the movement. It's another one of those that puts you in a wheelchair by design. Um, and it's on Viport if you want to play it. This is an Infinity title, so it's available to anyone who's subscribed.
Yeah. From what I heard about it, everybody said the same thing. It's just not fun. It looks good. It plays fine. It's just not real fun. And it kills a game if it's not fun. Who wants to play it?
Right. It's a time killer, right? It's just something to do. We've said it before. Even if a game's not a great game, if you're playing it in VR, there is some value to visiting these different worlds and these different areas, and at least you get to experience the presence that comes from being somewhere. But we're getting to the point now where there's so many good games in VR that we really don't need to play these kind of games anymore, right?
yeah, absolutely. Terry Church says I hate gravity. I don't know if that means gravitate. I guess gravitational. Will Raza says he did the demo and it was meh. So.
Meh.
Right. I think it's kind of like the consensus on gravitational. Um, Traveling Man 3775 says, Chatty Chatty Bang Bang Award. This winner is Wolf Raza, the best gun skills in chat.
Oh, I love me
You know,
some
that
Wolf.
reminds me, we could do we like to do original awards, give out recognition to games for things that kind of get overlooked by the other award shows. You know our style. We do original stuff here on Virtual Strangers. I think this would be probably a pretty good year to give out an award for best manual reloads, like the best gun handling. You know what I'm saying? The most realistic reload mechanic, and then we'll have to think on what we'll call this award. But we've had enough good shooters this year that we could certainly have that discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, Moving on the 16th of November, PlayStation VR finally got their version of Rhythm of the Universe, Ionia. Of course, this game coming from Rotu Entertainment retails on PlayStation for $15. So it was feast or famine with this one. We experienced this one on PC, which the gameplay mechanics and movement were janky. There's no other way to put it. Um, the puzzles were all right. The storytelling was good. The graphics were beautiful and were the reason to play it. And the graphics were so good, it was worth my time to play through it. I did enjoy my time overall in it. Then we had the Quest version, which basically took the best things about the game and watered them down and made it really not worth playing. So the question is, where did PlayStation VR fall? Well, from what I can see, it fell somewhere in between, as you would expect. It was a lot better looking visually than the Quest version, but yet not quite on the level of PC. And all of the jank that we experienced on PC, put all that in the Move controllers and see how you like it.
Mm. They could have just left this thing. Just give you the experience. Don't have me interact with them or anything. Just drift me around, and it would have been amazing, right? The fact that you had to move around was the problem, and that's a big problem. You know what I mean? If you're gonna move around, you kind of need to be able to do everything. It's kind of a bummer because it is a beautiful game or experience or whatever you want to call it, and I feel like they kind of dropped the ball in several different ways. Um, but
Yeah, I think that they should have play tested this one a lot more if they did any at all. Because a lot of the stuff that this game failed at is pretty basic stuff in terms of VR game development. Where it excelled at, though, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful looking games on PC I've ever seen.
yeah,
Yeah. It's like they put everybody on the PC. It's like they put everybody they had on the graphics department, and they got like the janitor out of the closet to come and do the controls. They're like, yeah, just do
They-
what you can, make something work. They would have been better. You know what? They would have been better off. They would have been better off making a walking sim
What's
or
I'm saying?
making an experience.
They
Make
could
it
have
an
just
experience.
drifted you around, dude, and just
It
had
would've-
you not do anything. Even though some of the cool things about it, there were some cool things about what you did, but it just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you made this an
Oh,
experience and you charged $9 or $10 for it, and you just traveled through the whole thing, and, it lasted an hour or hour and a half, we would have been praising this game.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think they would have done well to just make it teleport only. Like, I mean, I get it. People are going to criticize you for not having the option for smooth locomotion, but most of the problems I experienced had to do with smooth locomotion and walking through things, and it worked a lot better as a teleport game, and I enjoyed it a lot more after I turned smooth loco off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Crazy.
and this game should have never been released on the Quest at all. That was mainly we need to put it on a system. We need to put it on a platform where we can make the most amount of money. That's the only reason. Because otherwise, anybody who play tested that game should have said, "Do not release this on the Quest. It's not worth it." Because it basically turned an okay game into garbage because it was not good. It looked terrible.
Tech says
Anyway,
get the broom
catch
out.
it. Yeah. Anyway, if you catch it on a good sale, it'll be worth checking out on PlayStation or PC. I mean, unless it's like $5 on Quest, you probably want to just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
On this very same day, though, PlayStation had a much more worthwhile game release. Yuki from Arvor Immersive uh, came out again on the 16th. $20 for this one. No secret how we feel about this. Highly addictive, beautiful game. Even like uh, I got to imagine what you sacrifice in clarity playing this on PlayStation VR. You're going to get back and then some with regards to colors on that OLED screen. This is a great game.
Yeah, yeah. This is Eric's his baby, right?
I love
This.
this game.
Mhm. It is really
Love
good.
it.
It's there. I don't think there's a better example of a bullet hell type of shooter that just has such an elaborate tree. Like I watching Eric stream it and all the choices and you explaining why you were choosing what you chose. There's a lot of strategy to this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's cool too is it's like, most of these games that do that, that give you those choices, you could just sit there and it's like, okay, what do I want to do? And you can think about it and you can think about it, and you can think about it. Here
Not
you
this
have
one.
seconds. You have seconds to decide your whole entire game. Because if you make the wrong choice, you can completely foobar yourself for the rest of the game that run. So you really have to make, split decisions of what you're gonna do. And it's just this game has that hook, man. I want to go play it right now.
Tech,
I
tech,
really do.
Tech's yawning. He's not a big fan of this game, I guess. Tech, you need to get in there, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, a good port to the PlayStation. It's pretty much 1-to-1, and with the Move controllers, uh, I mean, it's kind of like they were made for this, right? In the game, you're holding this plastic, action figure, and the move is kind of like shaped like that. So, just one more point for the overall immersion of the experience.
Yeah, there's some games where the tracking and the controllers they have absolutely no effect 100%, like Russia Blood, or at least for my experience. This is another one that I would imagine be the same. So it's cool.
Yeah.
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 I did do my due diligence and ask around about the tracking if anyone who played this on PlayStation had any kind of issues, and that none whatsoever. It tracks perfectly on PlayStation.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, moving along, Baby Hands from Chicken Waffle came out last week, or maybe the week before now. Came out on November 25th, $20. This is a long time Steam VR game that has gone largely ignored by me and others because it just seems so silly. It's a PC, or I'm sorry, a VR baby simulator, but it actually reviewed pretty well on PlayStation. I couldn't say I have not played Baby Hands. I do not intend to play Baby Hands.
You know how much I don't want to play Baby Hands? I didn't even create a scene. My mind skipped over this game and said, "You're not making a scene for Baby Hands." Although I got it now, just because I saw it there. I don't know. I guess it looks like it'd be kind of entertaining. I don't know.
It's
What?
supposedly fun. People say it's fun.
Looks like a
Why,
kid's
why,
game.
why are we still doing these games? What are we doing? Why are we doing these things?
Well, at some point,
Well,
this is my thought: is like I think we've kind of moved past it, right? That although I do want to make a volcano. Um, oh,
yeah, it's a sandbox. From what I can tell, it's a sandbox. You're a baby trying to do baby stuff and mess with things, and I don't know, man. I'm sure there's some fun to be had in it. I'm sure it's not terrible, but not
You're
my
being
deal.
you're being nice. You're being way too
Yeah,
nice.
it does look like
yeah,
it's got some. I mean, people say it's fun. I just don't think it's going to be a game of the year contender.
nope, nope. And then we come to the final PlayStation VR release of the month on the 26th of November. Windlands 2, after a multiple year development cycle, finally made its way to PlayStation VR. $30 for this one on the PSN store. And I had a nice long session right before we started this episode. And it's, what can I say? It's Windlands 2 on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything you want to say about
you want me
Windlands
to,
2?
you want me to say?
Go for it, man. Tell us your thoughts.
I mean, it's Windlands too. This is if you played Windlands on the PC, this is exactly that game. It looks exactly like it. I couldn't tell any difference between the PC version but it's PlayStation controls, and for me, I didn't think the controls were very good. They weren't intuitive for me. They were difficult. They were frustrating. Now you got to take this with a grain of salt. I don't play a ton of PlayStation VR, and I'm not really, really good with the Move controllers. So I would say if you're somebody like Wes who plays way more PSVR than me, or somebody who just plays PSVR, it's probably more like second nature. But I kept thinking when I was playing it, I've done this already, and I've done it on a superior, a better control scheme system. Why would I want to do this again? So, yeah, if you've never played Windlands before and you've got a PlayStation and you wanna play it, I would 100% recommend it. If you played this on PC, I see no reason to play this on PlayStation because to
Okay.
me, it's inferior, and with the controls.
All right. I'm not going to disagree with that, and I will talk a little bit about the controls in just a second. But I do want to say that we can't really. This is PSVR Game of the Month. We can't like compare it to PC games and say, well, this was
Yeah.
better on PC. You know what I mean? It's not
Oh,
really
yeah, yeah.
relevant. The conversation. I agree with what you said. That really the only issue I had with the game was the controls, and it really isn't a limitation of the game itself, but the controller. This Windlands 2 is a high level platforming game. Like the controls need to be precise, and there's a lot of different things that you can do in Windlands 2, and there just isn't enough interface on the Move controllers to handle it all. So what that ends up doing is you have to pick which ones you want to put in the prime spots on the controller and which functions you want to kind of push off and put in not the best place. But any one thing, if it's not optimal in a game that's as hardcore as this is with regards to the platforming, it becomes an issue. And that was pretty much my experience. Now, after some time, I did get used to it. But for what it's worth, I agree with you. Everything you said, you should play this on PC if you have the opportunity. It's
Yeah.
much more difficult to play on PlayStation due to those controllers. Um, so what I'm talking about is you have three main functions to this game. Obviously, there's running and jumping, there's swinging, and there's shooting. But you only really have two good controller options. You have trigger and you have the move button for your thumb. There is no grip button, and that's what really makes this bad. Because since there's no grip button, then you have to. All right, so what's the swinging button going to be? Is it going to be trigger or is it going to be move? Well, we'll make that the move button. Okay, so what's the bow and arrow? What's the shooting going to be? That has to be trigger, right? It has to be. So where do you put running? Where do you put the locomotion? That's the problem. Most PlayStation games allow you to put locomotion on the move button. But since you're swinging on this, you can't. So the running gets relegated to the left buttons on the left controller. And I don't remember exactly which buttons those are. I think it's like square and X. I don't know. But the point is that the swinging feels great. The shooting feels great. The running and jumping doesn't. Like the running and jumping is awkward in this. And again, you get used to it. And the way I dealt with it is just by swinging everywhere and getting really good with the swinging so I don't have to run and jump all that much. But it's going to be an issue, especially in the later levels of this game, where the platforming gets very difficult. Um, limited controls are not going to work for it, and beyond that, the on the PC version, you even have better control of your swinging mechanics because uh, oftentimes you find yourself stuck hanging from something that you've grappled and connected to. And on PC, you can press a button and let the slack out of your tether, which allows you to drop down, and then you can kind of slingshot yourself by letting go of that slack button, and it helps you in the areas where you have to move up a lot, and it helps you keep from being stuck in a lot of areas. There is no button for that on PlayStation that I could find. I tried every button. I tried
Wow.
every combination of buttons.
It's not
That
there.
function, it's just not there because there isn't a button for it. There is no room
Mm.
on the controller for it. And again, um, it hurts the game, and it's going to hurt it more as you go on, and the platforming becomes more difficult.
Yeah, it's a big problem, dude, because there's so many times where that's exactly where I'm at, and you're hanging from that thing, and you're like, "How do I get up there?" And I remember even telling you guys, or I think it was when me, you, Main Fan, and Alex had played, and I'm just like, "Well, just let your slack down, sling yourself up." I don't know how you get over to some of those crazy things. Now, Eric, you were saying something about the aliasing as well, that it looked kind of shimmery to you. Now, obviously, that's PlayStation as well, but I was surprised that that's the case because you're using a PlayStation 5, right? Or maybe there's just going to be a patch where they
Yeah,
take
and
that out.
yeah, and it wasn't a lot. I mean, you could just catch it in little spots, and you do see a little bit of blurriness in some spots, but I mean, that's it's very, very comparable to the PC game. I mean, visually wise, I wouldn't even barely downgrade it at all. It's really just the controls, and when I say this, don't get me wrong, I love Windlands 2. This is a great game. So, and this is a great game. Just for me, the controls are hard. But if you love Windlands, and I love Windlands, and if you have this is the only way you can play it, I would play it, and it's worth the $30 if you only have a PlayStation VR. I would buy it all day long. It's super frustrating. Like for me, you're right. The running and the backing up are very difficult. But even it's the smooth turn is on the opposite controller buttons to turn left or right, and that's where I had an issue because the two bottom buttons move you left or right on the move controller on your right move controller. The top button will reset you back to your last checkpoint.
Oh.
So I kept confusing myself. I'd be in the middle of a boss battle and I'm trying to fucking turn left and I hit the reset button and I find myself back at my checkpoint again. It must have happened to me 20 times. And this is my fault. Okay. It's not, I mean, it is a fault of the game, but again, this is my fault. This is me screwing it up. And again, if I'm Brian Paul, or if I'm AJ, or if I'm somebody who only plays on PlayStation VR, I could see where you could be second nature with this and not have a problem. So, again, it's just me. I think a big part of it is me.
Yeah, a few things here. First of all, I agree. I hit that fucking button over and over and
Oh, it
over
drove
again
me nuts.
accidentally, and I'm a PSVR pro. Like I consider myself a PSVR gamer first. Like that was the system that I came in on, and it's the one I've still got the most time in on. But yeah, I hit that button a lot and reset myself. Now with regards to the graphics. I would say the alias thing's pretty much a wash. Like you notice it in the menu pretty heavy when you first come into the game. Once you load into the world, you really don't see it much. And I do remember that when I played this game on PC, it was the same deal. Like when you got into the menu, it was very shimmery, and then when you got into the level, it wasn't so much. So I would call that a wash. Um, Other than that, the differences graphically is kind of a trade off. So um, near to mid-range things, all perfectly crystal clear. There is no foveated rendering on PlayStation 5. It's clear all the way to the edges. Where you do notice a difference on PlayStation is in distant objects.
Mm,
You don't have that clarity, and again, that's a limitation of the headset and the lack of resolution in the headset itself. But you know what you get as a trade-off for not having that clarity and stuff that's far away, I really thought that the colors popped
They did.
in
They
this
popped.
game in that OLED on that OLED screen. It looked really, really good. So the stuff that you see up close really looks better in some ways than it does on PC, but things that are far away, a lot less detail.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with regards to the one more thing about the controls, we already pretty much said that the move controllers are not. There's not enough interface on it to kind of play this at the pro level that you would on a PC. I don't know if this game supports DualShock. If it supports DualShock, that might be the way to play this game. As bad as I hate to say it, because it is a grappler, you want to have your hands free. But it's probably going to be a lot easier in the later levels if you have all the functionality and some thumbsticks to boot.
Yeah.
Um, Eric, did you have any trouble with the smooth turning? Like I had to use snap turning because the smooth turning was just so slow, and there's no
Uh,
adjustment for it.
I did find an adjustment to turn it up. It's
Oh,
hidden.
did you?
You gotta freaking search for it, dude. Yeah, I had to go into the menu 3 different times, and, because and originally, when you first go in, you have that little knob that you can change to smooth turn or fast turn, smooth turn or snap turn. So I did. I changed it to smooth turn. I got into the game, and it was snap turn. I'm like, "What the hell?" So I did it again, and it was still snap turn. So I had to wait till I was in game, out of that menu. It actually was in the tutorial part, and once I got into there, I went into the menu and I did search into the menu, and I put it on smooth. And then there was a little thing there. You could actually had 4 different speeds of smooth, and I turned it all the way up, and it was better. So it definitely was better. But again, it's just I sucked with the smooth turn, and you really need to turn this game. This game would be perfect for the Quest, man, because I mean, you should be like, this is like Sirento, right? I mean, you should be flipping and moving and spinning yourself around, and it was just difficult with the wire because I ended up trying to end up moving my body, and you can't do that with the with the PlayStation camera. You just can't, because I ended up getting out of the camera view a few times a little bit. So yeah, I mean, the smooth turn was there. You got to look for it, but man, I wish this was on the Quest. This would be great.
Yeah. I agree with that, and I understand why it's not. Rendering out basically a whole big open world that you can view any point of it from wherever you're at.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing to render on limited hardware. But you're right. I really wish this was on Quest 2 standalone, because I think that in the near term, the near area, that I think that it could obviously render the graphics out, and being tetherless, it would add to the experience here
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what Airlink's for,
Yeah.
right?
Airlink, baby. Yeah.
Or virtual desktop.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the end of the day, PC comparisons really don't play into what the PlayStation VR game of the month is. We have to try to look at this from the perspective of someone who only plays on PlayStation VR and doesn't have any other platforms. So, with that in mind, it comes down to either Yuki or Winlands 2. And for me, basically, controller issues aside, I've thought about this all day, what direction I'm going to go here, because I love both of these games. Uh, for me, what it comes down to scale. Like, Yuki's a fun game; it's very replayable. Um, but I feel like as a game, Winlands offers a lot more. It's a full scale open world adventure that you can play with your friends. And for my taste, I appreciate those factors a little bit more. So my vote goes to Winlands 2. Eric, I'm sure that you're going to have something to say about that, right?
This is a tough one. Yeah, this is tough because I'm all about multiplayer too, and Winlands gets a huge boost for me because it is 4-player co-op, and it is a lot of fun in co-op. And I remember getting in there with Void Citizen and a couple other people from the Virtual Strangers Discord and just having a ball in this game, man. And Yuki unfortunately is not a co-op game, but I know what I want to go back into all the time, and it's not Winlands. So I wish it was, but it's not. I think I'd rather go into Yuki. I think Yuki's just like, with the endless mode that they have now, and I don't know if the endless mode in the PlayStation version West. I don't know that. The
I
endless
will. I
mode that
don't. I
just
don't.
released.
I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that it probably is.
See, to me, I mean, that adds a lot to it because Yuki is not a long game. You know what I mean? It's only 3 or 4 levels, and about the same amount of bosses. So it is not a super long game, but the endless mode gives it a lot more meat, and it's a lot of fun and it's challenging. I don't know if you guys had a chance to try it yet, but it is super hard, and I freaking love it, man. They take no mercy on you with that endless mode, and it's really cool. To me, it adds a lot to go back into that game all the time. So it's very close, but I'm probably going to go with Yuki.
Right. And for the record, I do have an argument here with regards to replayability, because a lot of uh, a very underappreciated aspect of Winlands 2 is the fact that once you're done with that story mode, there's still a lot of platforming challenge here. There are over 120 or maybe not over. I think there's 120 uh, collectibles hidden throughout this world. A lot of Easter eggs
Mm.
to other things outside of this game, um, and the platforming to get to some of these. Uh, I mean, some of the collectibles are easy to find. Some of them are hidden. Some of them are hidden and in areas that are not easy to get to. Like you really have to put effort into the platforming to get to some of these areas just to look uh, for these collectibles. So there's a lot of replayability in Windlands as well outside of the open world co-op adventure, and I think that that's an aspect of the game that gets overlooked a lot because it's not easy. It's hard, and people don't like to. A lot of people don't want that challenge, right? They don't want to go back in and fail at a platforming game over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, you're it's a special kind of breed of person. It's a completionist, right? That wants to get every single thing. That's not common. That's actually rare. Most people don't do that. Um, so
Yeah, I was watching the developer again do an interview on PSVR without parole, and he said that one of these collectibles, to get to it, you had to complete a 7 minute long parkour stretch, meaning no swinging. It's all running and jumping, platforming, uh, just to get to this area where this collectible's at.
some of the best
Yeah.
parts of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he said it took him like the first time he had to go through it, it took him like 40 or 45 minutes to get to that through that one part. It's just doing that one part over and over and over again.
And that's what really hurts me about this because you're right, Roots. That's is some of the best part is the running and jumping on this game. And while I had a very fun time on PlayStation swinging, the running and jumping, I mean, it's serviceable, but it's hard to do like precise platforming with the move controller scheme the way it is. And if they move the you know, and put the run button on the move button in the center, then what are they going? How are you going to swing? Right? Like it's really an unfortunate situation. But again, we're talking about PSVR game of the month. We're not talking about which version of Windland should you play, right?
Yeah.
So Roots, what say you? And by the way, I do have a poll open. You guys vote for who you think should win. Uh, for me, it's close. I say Windlands. For Eric, it's close. He says Yuki. What say you?
For me, it's not so close. Even though I do love both games, but I'm more prone to looking at it as like uh, the full package of what you're getting, right? I mean, with Windlands 2, you're going on an adventure, and you're going on an adventure with your friends, and there's exploration, and you're some of the coolest swinging I've ever experienced in my life, and the pitfalls in your stomach, and when you're going trying to get down from one platform and you're like, okay, I can slowly make my way, not fuck it, and then you just jump and you fall, and you fall and try to make it as far as you can, and there's just so many moments of that that I'm hard pressed to give it to Yuki. I just can't, and I love Yuki. Yuki's as a bullet hell is the best one I've played, a bullet hell shooter of that type. But Windlands 2, even with what you said, with the limitations of the controller, it's still the best experience of its kind on the PlayStation VR. I don't even know that there's anything like this, right? A completely open world exploration game where you're hanging out with three of your friends and getting to fight bosses and go on this, that's another thing too. There's a story. There's just a lot to this, right? I just think it's really good.
And when I chose Windlands, that was exactly my reasoning behind it. Again, I've been going back and forth around this all day, asking other people, PlayStation gamers, what do you think? Which one should win? Uh, at the end of the day, it comes down to scale, right? What does this game offer as a total package versus what does that game offer as a total package? And as fun and replayable as Yuki is, again, it's a great game. I feel like Windlands has a lot more to offer as a whole, and I think that the price tag actually reflects that because I think if we put $30 on Yuki, I'd say, I don't know, man, that's a little overpriced. But we put $30 on Windlands 2, and I think that's a good price for it. I think that's exactly what it's worth. And at the end of the day, I think that that pretty much says it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Scion says that Windlands 2 needs a PS5 VR update, and I think John Hibbins in that interview with PS VR Without Parole, he did say pretty definitively that they would have a patch for it for PSVR 2, and this game with orb controllers with no camera will be freaking amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna be night and day difference.
It will.
I'm hoping, guys, I'm still holding out hope that they're able to emulate the PSVR 1 tracking system for the PSVR 2 and just offer blanket backward compatibility for the whole library.
That'd
I
be
don't
awesome.
expect it. I don't expect it, but I know it is a possibility. I'm very hopeful for that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean the way he was talking about it, he was like that. He was thinking in his head that he thought that a lot of the library would be moving over. So I'm hopeful too.
If they can
Was
make
a
it
leak.
happen, right? If they can make it happen,
Yeah.
it makes sense, right? As far as having games on day one.
Well, yeah, that was his argument. He said, "Can you imagine the library coming out of the box if you can use a lot of those PSVR 1 games on your PSVR 2?" So, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And I was skeptical about this at first because, it just seems so unlikely that, that they would make this work. That you're talking about a world of difference between how one system is going to work versus the other. But then I thought back to when we went from CV1 to Rift S, and they went from lighthouse based tracking to inside out, and I remembered that all worked on day one with Rift S. And when you would take your Rift S in the Steam VR and look at the setup, go into like the play area setup, you would see lighthouses in your room, even though you weren't using any. You were using inside out tracking. Steam VR saw it as lighthouses. And what that told me is that Oculus was emulating, and that's how they achieved this compatibility. They were emulating their older tracking system so that the computer sees it as if there are lighthouses there when there aren't really. And if they can do that, then Sony can emulate their camera-based system with lights. They can just make the PlayStation think that that stuff's there, even though it's not, and translate the tracking data from the cameras over to the old way. It's possible, and that experience with Rift S is really what gives me hope for
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully. Here's crossing fingers, right?
Yeah, for sure. To me, I think it's just the control. It's just basically setting it up for the controls because I think everything else should be fairly easy. It's just you gotta set things up for the orb controllers, and that's going to take some work by the developers to do that. That's all, and they have to put a commitment in to do that. And I think Sony will have enough pull with the developers to have them do that if they choose to.
Right. Well, the good thing about that is controller bindings is a fairly easy thing. If the positional tracking is going to be done on Sony's end, that they can put in control schemes in a day. Like that, they could seriously, they could obviously they'll want to test it, and it won't come out in a day. A lot of them, but I mean, hopefully this is stuff they're doing right now. Like so, when the headset launches, it's all done. They have a huge, amazing catalog of games and exclusives that are instantly upgraded the minute the headset drops, and hopefully Windlands 2 will be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Hell
cool.
yeah. And if
Anyway,
anybody who votes for Windows 2 is dead to me, just by the way.
Oh God, dude, I already voted. I'm changing my vote, Wes. I vote for Yuki because I don't want to be dead to Eric. No, I have to. What the hell?
anyway, I'm going to end the poll before anyone else can change their vote.
I think I was the only one. I think I was the only one who voted for Yuki.
No,
No, you weren't the only one. It was actually fairly close, and there were like 15 or 16 people that voted. So,
Wow.
but at the end of the day, the chat agrees with Roots and I. Windlands 2 becomes the PlayStation VR game of.
I just
the month.
reported your poll because it was mean.
Nice.
It was mean, dude. Are you allowed to? Are you allowed to report polls for that?
Apparently.
Yes. Yeah. You know, YouTube. You never know, man. With
You
them,
never know.
It's
like
2021. You can report anything, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
it's literally changing every day with YouTube. They're making my job more difficult when I set these videos and streams up, and it's pissing me off.
Well,
But
can you
it is what it
imagine what it's doing for Anthony? Because every time
is.
that they change to a new schematic, he would complain about it forever, right? And if they're changing it every day, oh my god,
It's not literally every day, but some of the stuff like I took for granted before they're taking away, and like for example, before when you set up a stream, you could pick your time that you wanted to start in 5-minute increments. Now, for some reason, it's letting me pick in 15,
oh,
and then I have to go after I set the time for it. Then I can go into like YouTube Studio and change it there by 5-minute
oh,
increments. But it's just an extra step that I have to go through to do that.
that's
Yeah.
weird.
And same thing with the thumbnails. Like if I want to copy over my settings from last week's stream, I can't now. I have to, because if I copy over the settings and go to put a different thumbnail in, it tells me that there's a limitation of one per day, custom thumbnails.
Mm.
But if I can start a new stream and type all the crap in by hand or copy and paste it over. It's a lot more work because of this one thing. And but after I do that, I can go into YouTube Studio and I can change the thumbnail as many times as I want, no limit. So it's real jank and aggravating, and YouTube can suck it.
That's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I got one worse for you. Try fucking streaming to Facebook. You want to have some freaking jank, man. I got 133,000 people, and nobody can find me when I go live because Facebook doesn't freaking notify anybody.
Man, that's crazy, man. And people can say what they want about Twitch. That's why I like Twitch. As a gamer, it's easier for people to find you. Maybe not as a VR gamer, but
yeah,
I'd go to Twitch if that's where the people, if the people would go with me, I'd go. But they won't.
It'd be more. It'd be more like Rumble would be more of a more likely move. But if we did that, we should simultaneously do it and stay here, and then that way, if YouTube ever gets really weird, just say we're moving. We're out of here.
There's another platform that I saw the other day. I think it's called Locals.
I never heard of that. That sounds like a dating site, bro.
No, it's a means to mitigate censorship. There's a lot of censorship on the internet these days. So a lot of people are switching over to this platform called Locals, and everyone gets their own web address, and you can do what you want to on there.
Okay. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep. Anyway, congratulations, Winlands. Yuki as a runner-up. Do you think Yuki's going to factor into the Game of the Year conversation, or do you think? I mean, we're at the end of the year now. Do we expect a lot to change in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Hitman Yuki. I don't know. It's so close.
Yeah.
Sniper Elite.
I would say, and it's not a knock at Yuki. It's just not. It's not in the same league with a AAA game like Hitman 3 or some of the other games that are out there, right?
Song of the Smoke. I mean, Song of the Smoke is getting a lot of push from that community.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it at the top of the show.
Well, that being
even that, like even if it was Yuki versus Song of the Smoke, I don't know which way I'd go with that, because for the same reasons I picked Winlands, there's a lot more game there. With Song of the Smoke's like a 15-hour campaign,
Yeah.
I would probably Fracked or Yuki.
Yeah. Well,
how can we forget about Frack?
And we can't forget the fact that I believe Yuki's already won. Didn't it win one of the other categories? Maybe for Quest or for Game of the Year or a runner-up? I don't remember.
It might have been a runner-up.
I mean, it has a better chance of winning on that platform. Although Resident Evil 4, some people theorize a December San Andreas release. I don't think so, but wouldn't that be crazy if like next week all of a sudden it just dropped?
There goes our plans.
Seriously, it's been a great year for a lot of these games that maybe aren't the deepest games. We've had a lot of really great like arcade style games this year. the Swarms, the Crashlands, the Yukis.
Mm.
There's been a lot of these games, and I mean a lot. So that the award for like that category is going to be hotly contested this year. Hopefully, a lot of people turn up to vote
Yeah.
because I don't know which way I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, Sweet Surrender is another one. That one's really good. And
Yeah,
they're
there's so
freaking
many.
working on that thing every freaking day, Wes. They just did another patch on it, man.
So many of these
Time to
games
get
that
back
you
in
can
there.
just
Mm.
go burn an hour in like it's 5 minutes, because the gameplay loop's just so addictive,
Like
Yeah.
Eric with Rush of Blood when he went into Windlands too.
Oh yeah, it was so
He
good.
said an hour
Dude,
melted away like nothing.
dude, it was so good. It was so good. I love Rush of Blood, man.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect game for PlayStation VR one, right? You just sitting in your minecart, shooting shit,
Yeah.
clowns coming at you,
You know,
pigs.
I'd like it better if it had co-op, so I wouldn't feel so
Oh
scared.
yeah,
Look over, Eric's there. He can cover the right. I'll cover the left.
It's an
that
evergreen,
would
man.
be a good split stream.
It's a
Yeah,
Who's getting the
2016
higher
game,
score?
bro.
I
It's
know,
a
right?
2016 game, and it's just as fun now as it ever was. It's probably the game in VR that I've beaten the most amount of times. Like, played that game so much,
it
and it's still every bit as fun as it ever was.
it was
Yeah.
one of the few games that I actually like craved to play when I didn't have my PlayStation VR. Right, because most of them I was like, I played, I got my fill, I'm good. And I was like, man, I want more Rush of Blood.
Here's the only issue, though. I think it's getting worse, man, with the pausing. I think I have
Yeah.
paused a lot, dude. I don't like the last couple times I played it, and then I even saw you stream it. What was a few months back, and you had it a few times. And the last time I played it, I had it 1 or 2 times. I must have had it in 45 minutes. I probably had it 8, 9, 10 times. Something. It was a lot. It seemed like every few minutes.
It's frustrating because, we keep kind of chirping at Supermassive Games to bring over their Dark Pictures anthology into VR. And we're all hopeful that maybe one day we'll get a Rush of Blood sequel.
Mm.
And you just hope that they still care about VR. But then you notice the fact that here we are a year later, and they won't even fix Rush of Blood. Like, it's still broken from the PS5 launch, and they just don't care. And it
Yeah.
really doesn't bode well for any of these other VR things to happen from their company if they won't just take a minute and fix this pausing thing with Rush of Blood. It's very frustrating.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't break the game or anything. I still want to play it, but man, it just pulls you out like every few minutes. It hurts.
boycott. I'm done.
Yeah.
You can play it for an hour and it won't happen, and then you can play it for 5 minutes and it'll happen 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying.
Yeah, I probably just caught a bad run tonight, but yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway, we move on to Oculus Quest, and in my opinion, Oculus Quest was the winner of November, man. We have 6 titles to talk about under the Oculus Quest platform this month, and not a bad one in them. So let's start with the game that came out on November 4th from Peanut Button, The Secret of Retropolis. We talked about this one. We covered it. Was it last week that we covered The Secret of Retropolis?
Yep.
Yep.
Fun, immersive storytelling puzzle game in the vein of I Expect You to Die. Maybe a little less puzzle heavy and a little more focused on storytelling, but a quality release nonetheless, and it's easy to see while they graduated from App Lab onto the main store.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good game.
From there, wait a minute. Where's my manners? We did cover this last week, and as I recall, we have a copy up for grabs, do we not, Oprah?
Which Oprah? Oh, it's the shocker.
It's your favorite.
I love the
There we
shocker.
are. Anyway, while I, as usual, I'm ill prepared to do a giveaway. So if you guys wouldn't mind chiming off a little bit about the Secret of Retropolis while I get this ready, I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a really cool game, man. It was, it was short, but I think for what they gave you for what the price was, the story was kind of cool and campy, right, Roots? I mean, I thought the art style was cool, and
Yeah, it was
those puzzles were fun, but not like frustrating, right?
yeah, it reminded. Like I said last time, it reminded me more of I forget the name of the stupid game again now. That one game where you're on the elevator.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
floor plan.
Floor plan, yeah, or floor
Yeah.
plan too. Kind of reminded me of that. The story with more story. I thought it was cool. It was definitely cool. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. Oh, go ahead.
no, I really appreciate too that the way they ended the story, and that there is an opportunity for this to kind of give way to a larger, longer game. The story just kind of seems to be getting started with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're already talking on their Discord that they have already plans, to release the second part of it, and I'm looking forward to the more story. You know what I mean? They kind of left it on a cliffhanger, and they give you like a good cop, bad cop ending, right? You can go the evil ending or the good ending, and hopefully they continue that into the next part of the game. So if you picked an evil ending, hopefully that where it picks up is you pick up, with the evil choice that you made, or if you pick a good part, it picks up with the good part. That would be pretty cool if it did something like that.
How cool would it be if exactly was like that? It completely changed a branch. You have two different narratives. The story goes in two different ways, right? That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the way this was set up was, I think, to give you those kind of options. It was, this goes along. This type of game goes along perfectly with one of those games that where your options or your choices, control the outcome.
I'm going through the comments on that last episode to pull the entrance for the drawing, and we have a comment here from Abel Cohen. Abel Cohen says, "Abel here. I'm one of the creators of BioLoom. Thanks so much for this review. Really glad you liked it."
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice. That was such a cool
uh,
experience.
yeah, it's one of my favorite that I've ever one of my favorite like short VR storytelling experiences I've ever experienced. So beautiful. I love the vibe of it. It's so dark
Mm.
and really it's something. The genre hasn't been done very often in this type of storytelling medium.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of, longer experiences like this. Like I said, I eventually want to see a full blown movie like this in there, man. And I think we're probably hopefully on that path, especially with the quality of actors that they had in this, voice actors they had in this. If you start pulling more A-list actors into these type of things, um, you're gonna see more, people want to put money behind it, and then they're gonna do more longer experiences. So.
Right. And with that, we throw it over to the random.org true random number generator. All of the entrants have been assigned a number in a reply to their comment. And we will now see who the winner and what the winning number is.
Is that a new Oprah?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. She's like, "Yeah, baby." I love her.
She gets excited. Oprah
She's
loves
like,
people
"Yeah,
winning games.
Metropolis." Yeah. She's like, "Yeah."
The winner is number 4.
Oh, I knew it was going to be number 4. I love number 4. Who's number 4, Wes?
Number 4.
Number
Let me see.
4.
Love
Get
it.
out of my way, Top Chat Replay.
I'm
F top chat.
excited. I'm really curious to know who number 4 is.
Comments.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Number 4 is Warmark. Congratulations,
Hey.
Warmark. I love
Warmark.
that guy or girl or person or whatever. It's in 2021. It's hard to talk.
Warmark is lucky, man, because he won not too long ago. He
Yeah, he won
won.
recently. That's right.
Yeah, that was cool. Good for you,
Nice.
man. Congrats, man. You're on a streak.
You're doing it.
So,
Yes.
you know the drill, bro. Hit me up on Discord to claim your key. And if you did not win, don't fret. The 2021 show is at hand, friends, and there will be enough keys to go around. I assure you.
Keypalooza.
Yes.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, let's get back to our talk now on the Oculus Quest Game of the Month because we certainly had a little more to talk about than the secret of Retropolis. As 1 week later, on November 11th, Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space was brought to us from the folks at TerraVision Games. $25 for this one. Guys, at the top of the show, I talked about those games that didn't really review as well as we reviewed them. You know, we had a little more fun with this one than a lot of people did, apparently. And I think, honestly, when I try to think about why, I think that a lot of people hear the words tower defense and they immediately, at a subconscious level, get this negative feeling towards something before they even play it. It's just speculation on my part, but all in all, I had fun playing this, and we played it live here on the Strangers in the Night show. And I think most of the people who watched us play it that night said, "Man, this looks pretty fun." And the reason is because it is pretty fun.
It's got a flip flop in it, bro, that you get to throw around. I mean, what's better than that? What do they call it? The chancla or
The weaponized chancla.
chancla? Yeah.
Who
I
doesn't
don't know.
want a weaponized flip flop, man?
Well, you know, I mean, it definitely is effective. That's for sure. I feel like my chat
Anyway,
stopped, or the
okay.
chat, or the
Anyway,
chat stopped. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the chat. Well, maybe it is that. Let's see.
I gotta refresh.
And see if anything changes.
I don't think so. I think we're
Live chat.
Not chatty. The
Refresh.
chat's not chatty.
Could someone please say something in the chat there so we know that you're alive?
Yeah, because it
just
was.
make
The world isn't about to end.
Yeah, because it was. We're talking the PlayStation VR conversation about the controllers. That was the last time somebody said something.
yeah. If you're gonna say something in
Oh,
chat, just make it profound. Just don't put something crazy. Make it
Yeah.
nice.
there we go. Wolverizer says, I think I will like Toonhead, but such a cheapskate waiting for a sale. No, I don't think so. I think I get that. I kind of feel like $25 is kind of the limit with this game. It's kind of the upper limit of what it's worth. But it is fun. It's a fun gameplay loop. It's tower defense done in a very unique way, and a lot of creativity into the story and characters here. So, certainly deserving to be on this list as a nominee, I think.
Yeah, my thing was locked up because I switched it over top chat and back, and there's all sorts of stuff. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I missed you. I was scared. I thought you guys were gone.
Well, I saw somebody hadn't said anything in like 3 minutes, I think, and I was
Uh,
like, well, I
For
mean,
me, it was like
maybe.
30 minutes, and I'm like, that is not
Oh,
normal.
Not for
anyway,
this crew.
yeah, I know these guys don't know when to shut the hell up.
I think this, yeah, right. I think this game is perfect
Mhm.
for if you get a Oculus 30 discount, something like that, man. This is perfect for that. Take that $25 and
Yeah.
make it a good discount game. It's a fun game, man. It's a game that you can go back to time and time again. This is not, one of those games you beat it and you put it you uninstall it, and this is a game you would keep on there and just. I'm not saying you're going to play it like every day, but you could just jump in every few days and play it for a half hour, 45 minutes. Just a
It,
fun game.
it's
It's one of
un-
those arcade style games that I was talking about a moment ago that we had a ton of these of these simpler gameplay loops that are just addictive. This is one
Yeah.
of those.
yeah, it's a unique tower defense. And I said it when we played this. If you don't like tower defense, you're not going to like this because you don't like tower defense. You know what I mean? But if you like tower defense games, you're going to really like this one because it's very unique and cool. So.
Yeah. I mean, I like it for what it is. You know what I mean? Everybody, a lot of people that were reviewing it they were shitting on it. Were just like, but you can have a Lone Echo and you can have this type of game. Why do you have to have one or the other? Why can't we have time, wasting, distracting, games to hook you in that you just want to jump into for a little bit and then jump out? I don't want to have to have everything be, a cinematic, AAA experience that I have to spend 30 or 40 hours. And I don't want everything to be, Asgard's Wrath. You know what I mean? I like distracting games. That's why I like Yuki, because I can just jump in and jump out whenever I want. But I do want to have those other experiences too. So it's nice to have both. But why can't we have both?
You
Maybe
can't.
if
You're not
developers are
allowed
making
to.
both, who cares?
You're not allowed to. It's a great
Yeah.
palate. We need palate cleansers. Something in
Sure.
between those big games. Something that you can jump into for an hour or two
Yeah.
or whatever. So
Like In Death. In
yeah,
Death is amazing for that. Like there's no big story for In Death. I mean, it's there's no story at all. Well, I mean, I guess there is a little bit now. They have these shards that kind of give you little bits of backstory, but it's not a story driven game by any sense of the imagination. It's completely repetitive and completely addictive and fun.
yep. Tech
Yeah.
says Yuki for life. Well, I added the for life, but still.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then let's see here. The very same day as Captain Toonhead came out, very unfortunate day they picked because that very same day, the Binary Meal brought us Resist. This game, a complete surprise release, $20, uh, action adventure game, grappling, shooting, just a real fun, good time in this game. Very unique game for the Oculus Quest library. And you know, I'm not going to say it. Everyone else says it. I'm not going to say what everyone else says about this game because it's not that. This is
Spider-Man.
its own game. It's Spider-Man with guns, guys. Everything's Spider-Man with guns to these people.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not Spider-Man with guns. You are swinging. That's kind of reminiscent of Spider-Man, but there's a lot more going on here. It's a lot more futuristic, sci-fi type thing than like a Spider-Man game. But really great, fun game, and one of my favorite games of the year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Robo Recall and Spider-Man is Resist, Meowmix says. And I'll tell you what, I looked up the reviews. This is one of the games that I was looking at, reading different reviews. And there's 378 of them on the Quest. So this is definitely an underrated game, but it's almost 5 stars across the board. Almost everybody's loving this game, raving about it that's played it. That tells me something. It doesn't matter how many reviews it's gotten. It's the amount of reviews that are positive. And I also have my personal preference. I really enjoy it. It's really fun. So
Yeah.
Great game. Yeah, really the only negative thing I could say about this game is that it's short. Like a 5-hour campaign. I guess by certain standards that's pretty long for a VR game, but by today's standards, it's not very long for a VR game, especially a game like this where the time just flies when you're in it. 5 hours is 5 minutes in this game.
yeah, what's
Yeah.
the cost on it? It's got a really good progression as well. So,
Yeah.
$20. $20
Yeah, so
for this.
yeah,
it's good
dude.
too.
I mean, that's for for 5 hours, $4 an hour. I mean, that's a really good deal in my opinion.
Yeah. Underpriced. This should be $30.
Yeah.
Was that 5 hours with all the side missions too, Wes? Do you know? Or was it just the main story?
No,
grind?
that's just the main story campaign.
There's a
That's not.
shit ton of side missions here that you can do. I mean, this is basically an open world almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man with
Very
guns.
si-
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to play Spider-Man with guns, man?
Yeah.
Oh, in all seriousness, it does in some time in some spots remind me of that Spider-Man Far From Home experience that came out last year. The boss fights are very reminiscent of that, actually.
Yeah, it just showed this was a perfect example. If it wasn't Spider-Man, which it's not, they can do Spider-Man really easily, and it would
Oh, yeah.
work. So
Yeah, let's talk about the biggest no-brainer in the history of VR. Like, where's the fuck is Spider-Man VR?
yeah,
Yeah.
I guarantee it's going to come out with PlayStation 5 VR. I just have a
Yeah.
feeling.
For sure.
Can't wait. March.
Anyway, normally it would be a lock.
Mm.
A game like Resist would be a lock for Game of the Month on Quest, but not so fast, friends. This is November 2021 we're talking about, and just 4 days later, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond hit Quest from Respawn Entertainment, $40. Guys, an amazing port of a AAA World War II shooter adventure game, story-driven shooter adventure game, complete with multiplayer, PvP. much more warmly recepted on Quest than it was on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting a ton of play in multiplayer too. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go back in there, but I did a little bit myself, and I know a whole bunch of people that have, and it's active for a lot of people playing it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just a good game. I don't know what else I could say about it. It's a AAA adventure game set in World War II with lots of different guns. The gun mechanics are awesome in it. Um, it's just a great AAA game, and uh, I mean, we've kind of talked it to death already. I think that how amazing is it that this is kind of it's in the discussion for Game of the Year. I think it legitimately is.
It's
I,
crazy.
I, yeah, I still don't know how they did it. Still don't know how they brought this game. I mean, almost all the way over everything, even the multiplayer. They brought it all over to the Quest too. It's amazing.
Last year, we were talking about this. What was the name of the award? We had an award that we named for the biggest letdown
Mm.
of the year, and Medal of Honor Above and Beyond was one of the nominees for that. And here we are, a year later, talking about it as a Game of the Year contender on Quest. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey Roots? If you have it open there? What's the reviews on this on the Oculus page? I'm just curious to how many there are and what's the reviews
There
look
was a lot more. I don't have it open right now, but I did look at it, and there was a lot more reviews. Obviously, it wasn't as cut and dry. I mean, there was a lot of people that loved it, and there was also a lot of people that just like always crap on it. Um, uh, some people were saying that it's the same game but worse. But I, in my opinion, when I went in, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It's
Well, here's the thing that it is the same game as the PC version pretty much, but they fixed the
right.
PC version. It got bad reviews and was let down because it had a lot of problems at launch a year ago. Those problems are gone now. Like they're gone. And this is a good game. This is the game we hoped it would be when they launched it.
Yeah. Yep. I
Yeah.
agree.
And with that, November was not yet over because we had another surprise drop. Lucky's Tale finally made its debut on Oculus Quest from Playful November 18th, 2021. $20 for this one. It's Lucky's Tale. We all know what Lucky's Tale is. It's a pretty standard platformer, maybe kind of a little less challenging than some of the other platformers, a little bit more geared toward children, but it's very colorful and Roots, it's charming.
Yeah, it's charming. It's definitely worth playing through. It's definitely after playing Ven, and Ven is just so fast paced. This feels very slow. But what this does have is atmosphere, right? I mean, even just the 3D of those things flying in your face is crazy. It makes you duck, right, or dodge it. This is definitely a cool game. I wouldn't say it's game of the year contender for me, but it's definitely a good game.
Yeah, I had fun with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and long overdue for the Quest 2, which unfortunately it is Quest 2 only, not Quest release, but yeah, long overdue. I mean, it should have been here a long time ago. The Quest needs platformers. There's not enough. Really, there's only Ven, and I think that's it, right? Ven and this. So it needs it, especially with the amount of new people coming in to VR right now. It needs games like this because this has that cool factor that will bring people in. It's got a nostalgia factor. I loved it, man. I thought it was really cool. I never did play the PC version, so I played this one the other day. So I recorded it, and I had a lot of fun. I was kind of wowed by it. I mean, again, Ven is the superior game for me, just because of the visuals, but just the overall structure of the game and the challenge of the game. This is
Right.
not a challenging game, but this is a game that I probably would put my daughter into more, or a younger person into more than I could have been. My daughter probably can't get through most events. She's 7, but she'd freaking flip for this game, and I can't wait to get her in there.
Yeah.
Right. Ven's more of a gamer's game. It's going to
Mhm.
give you some challenge. You're going to have to really try to if you wanted to beat that one. This one, the only challenge to it is finding the time to play through its 3 or 4 hour campaign. Um, but they're different games. They're both platformers, but they're different games. This one's more for all ages, whereas Ven not so much. Younger players are going to find it difficult to progress in that one.
This is a game that anybody could play. Everybody's played platformers, right? And Ven, not everybody could play because it's so fast paced. Where even parents, like your parents, your dad or my dad, could probably get through this pretty easily. Whereas Ven, they'd be like, "What the hell is going on?" You ever watched older people try to play Mario? Just regular original Mario. It's pretty funny.
And for what it's worth, no real discernible difference from a graphics standpoint. This version versus the PC version.
Yeah.
There you can tell some the differences about it, but I wouldn't say that it's worse. It's just a little different. Like there's newer character models. It's been
It's
remastered
remastered.
a little bit.
Yeah. So we skipped over one a title. I don't know if that was intentional or not. The first or the one right after Secret of Retro.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, it was really just a token mention anyway because I didn't play it. But we should mention Blade and Sorcery Nomad, which launched this month on the 4th from Warp Frog for $20. A lot of people like this game.
It's got a
For
lot of
me,
reviews. It's got a lot of
Yeah.
sales.
I bet.
yeah, for a lot of people like these physics-driven sandbox melee games. I will definitely check it out as they start to implement more objective-based gameplay into it.
Mm.
But I'm not someone who just likes to sit and play around for the sake of playing around.
And there's no way this could be game of the month anyway, because just in the reviews, even the people that raved about it and gave it 5 stars, the things that they're overlooking or they're explaining away, some of the jank, which they're working on, which I'm sure it'll go away. But this community loves this game, and it doesn't matter what's going on in it; they're gonna love it forever. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, I'm not part of that community, and I don't think either of you are either.
No.
So I was just mentioning it based on the popularity with those people, but not going to be our game of the month.
Yeah.
No. No. You know what was cool though? I did see Keith Valdez. He's in chat. He put a video out of this, and he acted. He does a whole bunch of like voices and stuff, like really cool voices. And I saw him on YouTube, and he acted out like a whole storyline for this game. He made his own story. He's like, screw that. You guys won't make a story. I'll make it. And he did like 3 different voices in it. There were different voices. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
That's
So if
fun.
you don't have a story, make your own.
Yeah, Decepticon says he's been having a lot of fun with Blades lately. So yeah, definitely a lot of people having fun with it. It's not my jam. My jam would be a story that pulls me through. Otherwise, I'm going in there and I'm slicing some things for about a half an hour, and then I'm saying, okay, what game am I playing next? So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Not for me.
For me, as many as great releases as Quest had in November, I think it, as usual, comes down to 2 games.
Yep.
Is it Resist or is it Medal of Honor Above and Beyond? One was a completely awesome surprise. Spider-Man with guns. Maybe a little bit limited in scope when you look at it next to Medal of Honor, which is a AAA $40 game and worth every penny of it. So what do you guys think?
I don't know. I'm torn.
So I'm the same, man. I have not made my decision. I've been thinking about it all night, and I still don't have a decision made. I gotta make it at the last second.
My thing is I enjoy Resist more for me personally, but Medal of Honor is just so much game, and it's like Eric said, it gets better as you go along. There's so much more of it I haven't played, so it's kind of a conundrum for me.
Yeah, with me, I think I'm going to go with Medal of Honor, and I think the reason why is the same reason I went with Windlands over Yuki with the last one. It's just a question of scale, how much game there is, because they're both great games. But if we start playing them, if Eric starts playing Resist and I start playing Medal of Honor, we're both going to have a great time. but I'm going to be having a great time tomorrow, and he's going to be done.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of the bottom line here with this one. One's a AAA game, the other one's not. I think that they both deserve to be in the conversation, but I think Medal of Honor probably should be the winner.
Yeah, I would have to agree for myself. Sorry to interrupt you there, Eric. I heard you breathe
No,
for a
no,
second there.
no. I'm still pondering. So
My
you
thing
go.
is it's like Keith says, it has so much to it, and then you add the multiplayer to it. It's not just the campaign. You could buy the game just for the multiplayer and probably be happy, if you like that type of game, those type of shooters. So I just definitely think that it's Resist, as amazing as it is, it's like in a completely different class. It's, you know what I mean? It's like a little BMX bike next to a motorcycle, right? Because you got
Right.
AAA, and that's just, I don't know.
Give me 3 resists that all tie in to one cohesive story. Then we're talking something that can compete with a AAA adventure game. But it's
Yeah,
not that. It's just a couple of chapters in those terms.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but you know what? I enjoyed every second I played in this game, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, if I have to go back and play right now, what would I rather go back in? And when I sit and think about that, I'm kind of saying both. So if that's the case, and I like both, and I think they're both great, I have to probably go with what I think is the more of the marvel to even get it on the damn Quest to begin with. So just in the fact that they even moved this thing over, and I think it's just amazing that we even have this game on the Quest too. And then the fact that you have this whole separate thing besides a 10-hour campaign, you have a complete multiplayer that's active with a lot of people in a whole bunch of different modes. So in the end, I really love Resist, but I think I'm going to go Medal of Honor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. It's unfortunate, but I just want more. I want more resist. Like I think if we put resist versus the first, chapter or two of Medal of Honor, then maybe we go with resist. But I mean, there's so much more, right? And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of the bottom line here.
Well, and what we said earlier is exactly the case. The whole reason for, we don't just do game of the month for no reason. You know what I mean? We're trying to create a list of game of the year contenders, and is Resist even have a chance against RE4? You know what I mean? Like we got to be realistic. We're in the this is the
Yeah.
last fucking one, dude. You know what I mean? We're about to make the choices. And so
Hmm.
all of that's going to come into play, and that's one of the reasons also why I went with Medal of Honor as well.
Worth an honorable mention for Resist.
No, I would say definitely worth an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, sure. We'll put it in there as an honorable mention, but I think largely it's a token thing because what Root said is true. It's
Yeah.
not going to be in the discussion for game of the year. There's nothing that's going to happen over the next 3 weeks that's going to
Yeah.
change that. So,
You know what? You're right. So yeah, I wouldn't do it then. You're
Yeah,
right. Because I'm just thinking the only reason you would honorable mention anything is because you want to
just in
maybe
case
revisit it at a later date. Which guess what? There's
we're
no later
yeah,
date.
it's probably not enough time for them to pull it around.
Yeah.
And Traveling Man says,
Don't resist the like button. It's calling your name.
please hit it. Hit the like button, slap it, stroke it, do whatever you want.
absolutely, stroke it. Stroke it slowly.
Stroke the like button.
You can do caress it, So,
You know who else likes to stroke the like button?
My mom.
oh yeah, she does. So it looks like that
All right.
everybody agreed with us as well. Well, not
Yeah,
everybody.
that's right.
I saw Meow Mix says both good, but in my opinion, Resist is the better Quest 2 game.
Well, I can definitely see that because it's an amazing game.
Yep.
But at the end of
Spider-Man
the
with
day, I think
guns.
we go. All right, so we move on to PC VR, and probably third place this month in terms of the 3 platforms, but there are I mean, it wasn't the worst month I've seen out of the year for PC, so definitely some good stuff in here. We start with Iron Rebellion from Black Beach Studio. November 9th, 2020, November 9th, 2021, this came out for $15 into early access. And I think that early access is going to kind of carry this one out of the conversation. But I did want to mention it because I was surprised at how many positive reviews this thing got. Uh, People really enjoyed this as in its very earliest early access state.
Yeah, yeah, people are raving about it. Just the PvP aspect of it, just the way it feels, the way that you're able to mess with everything in the cockpit, right? It seems like this may be the mech game we've been waiting for when it's finally finished, right? Because it is early access. I think it's one of the biggest complaints is there's only one mech and there's only like a couple guns, and so it is like, you know, it's got a long way to go, but it's definitely amazing as it is. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and the PC version is a little bit more beefy than the Quest version. The Quest version is super light, like you said, Roots. It's one mech and one gun in the in the Quest version.
mm,
They're a little bit more substantive with the PC version, but it's weird because with the Quest version, it's multiplayer only. With the PC version, it's campaign only. So
that is kind of weird.
neither of them has both, and they're both different than the other. So it's strange the way they did it, but you're right. I mean, the inside of this mech cockpit is the coolest thing. The way you start it up, and when you're in there, I mean, it gives you the feeling like you're really in a mech. Um, Besides any other mech game out there, even like Vox Mech, and this has probably one of the best looking, mech cockpits I've ever seen.
You know what's cool is the thing at the end, it says Sony get in contact with us. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Anyway, I think that the story is yet to be written for Iron Rebellion, so we're going to just shelf this one. It was really just a mention out of respect to the good reviews it's gotten, and with respect to the very light release month for PCVR.
Yeah.
The second release came out on November 10th. We already talked about it. Gravitational from Electric Monkeys. This game also came to Steam. It wasn't just a PSVR game, but the reception wasn't any better uh, on
Same issues.
PC.
Same issues,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Hmm.
Then we come to Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space. We talked about this one as well. We really dug this game. It was fun. Which, if you have a fun tower defense game, then that's really saying something. So, kudos once again to TerraVision Games.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And then we have the Outlier, and the biggest example of what I was talking about at the top of the show, of a different experience that I had than what a lot of the reviewers said. Not very many people gave a very favorable review to Warhammer: The Age of Sigmar Tempest Fall, which came out on the 17th from Carbon Studio for the price of $30. Guys, earlier in the show, we talked about kind of how we do things here and how you can judge a game's quality by how much time we put into it, because we don't get much time to play these games. If you see us playing something and then coming back to it, then it's probably pretty good. With that being said, I don't think that I played a game this month as much as I played Warhammer Age of Sigmar Tempest Fall. I admit that the controls and the combat are not perfect, but I think this game has so much more to offer beyond that, that I think that it's being undersold by most of the VR community.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I kept seeing, Wes, and I think this is the problem, is people complaining it with other games. You know, they're comparing it with Skyrim. They're like, imagine playing Skyrim with only 3 different types of enemies and this and this, and they're like trashing the game, comparing it to Skyrim, which, man, this is a AAA game, Skyrim, that, I mean, it's Skyrim, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair to this game at all. This game is what it is, and it's got so much lore, and I think it's really good. And I mean, I don't even see how this, I mean, this is kind of jumping a little bit cart before the horse. But I don't see how this, compared to everything that came out this month for PC VR, this could be the worst game in the world, and it might probably still win anyway. Being that it's amazing, I think it's probably going to win. But we'll see.
I think that they should be comparing this to another game. I think they should be comparing it to the Wizards Dark Times because it's very closely resembles the Wizards Dark Times. Only it's better in every way than the Wizards Dark Times. And these same people will admit that it's very similar to Dark Times, uh, but they shit on this where they praise Dark Times. So I don't get it. There's a big disconnect there for me. But I enjoyed my time in this, even if the combat is kind of repetitive.
I think we're entering a weird time, Wes, where because all the AAA games that are coming, all the mods, all the there's a lot going on in VR, and so standards are getting raised, even if they're not. People don't realize it. People are just looking at everything through the AAA lens, even though we're not quite there yet, right? And like this thing's done something, like even just that explosion, that lightning that hit that thing, that blew me away. I haven't seen that in a AAA game yet, so I don't know, man. I just think that it's a weird time in VR, kind of like the last couple of years. It seems like we're constantly in a different weird time, and I don't know.
What do
Yeah.
you think, Eric?
If you gave this game a different title, any other title besides Warhammer, we would probably be talking about this game for Game of the Year, because the only reason that people are down in this game is because it got overhyped because it's got the Warhammer title in it. If you made this game a Wizard's Dark Time Part 2 or whatever, or give it another, just get, if this was Everslot, the name of it was Everslot or whatever, don't give it the Warhammer name. This game would have been way higher rated. And we would all be going, I can't believe this game's amazing. How come nobody's talking about this game? Instead of shitting all over it because it's got the Warhammer name, and it did get overhyped, unfortunately, because of the Warhammer name. And then, when it wasn't, when it wasn't Skyrim, everybody wanted to crap on it. This is a great, beautifully cinematic game that has great gameplay, has really cool physics, and that has some of the biggest set pieces I've ever seen. I think a lot of people missed the boat on this game, and they did not give this enough time. You have to play deeper in this game to see how much is really into this game. It's not just as cut and dry as it only has two enemies and it has three weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, and in terms of like scale, not many games I've ever experienced display this kind of scale. And then just the overall quality of the game graphically. I mean, if you're one of these PC VR gamers that talk about quality in terms of graphics, then this is probably going to be your favorite game because it is beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
this is one of those Rotu Ionia, what was the other one, the demo we played? Hubris.
Oh,
It's
Hubris, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's on that level. It's super highly detailed uh uh textures in this game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, when that lightning strikes that huge freaking statue and it just crumbles in front of you, is one of
That's
the
what I was
coolest
saying. I've
things.
never seen a moment like that in VR before. It's just so, it would, to me, I was like, oh my God, like, why have they not done something like this before in other games? It was just so, the scale of it was so cool.
Yeah.
And the weapons are so ridiculous. The last time I played this, like I had gone on a pretty long stretch without upgrading my weapons, so I had a bunch of scrolls and a bunch of that I forget what the ore is called that you collect.
Sigmarite.
Yeah. I took all that stuff back and just like upgraded and upgraded and upgraded and upgraded my weapons. And they just get comically large and and they're all gilded with gold all over them. I mean, you're supposed to play the role of a god, and your weapons are very godlike after you upgrade them.
Warmac says, morning, seems I won again. You did, Warmac. You got the power, you got the luck, the I guess the mojo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, Walmart.
It's an awesome game.
Anyway, I had fun with Toonhead. I don't think it's on the level of Warhammer. I don't really think there's much of a conversation to have here, and I don't think there's any need to have a poll.
Yeah, no,
Nope.
not at all.
So that settles it. Carbon Studios, congratulations on a great game. even if most of the VR community is missing out on the beauty of it.
They're crazy, Wes.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's people like people I
They have,
respect.
they have
A lot,
hate.
everybody is pretty much saying that the combat's pretty shit in this one, and I don't see it, man.
Well, that was my own.
Maybe we just like maybe we just like every game, guys.
Yeah,
Maybe we just like every.
that's true. Well, that was one of the only things that I did say when we did talk about it that the that messed me up was the as I was trying to hit them and then having to wait, and you know what I mean. There was a weirdness to that. Hopefully they fix it, because other than that, that was my only thing. So
Yeah, I had some jank with weapon selection, but nothing game breaking.
yeah,
So it was just it didn't get me killed any, so it's all good.
yeah, absolutely.
All
Yeah, and
right.
they've already had 2 or 3 patches already too. So
Yeah, it's been patched since I've played it, so I mean,
Mhm.
I don't even know if that's even the case anymore.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, very true.
Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up our episode, our final episode of the year, guys. What a
Did
year
it?
it's been. Uh, 2021 show coming in hot, guys. It's going to be here before you know it. Again, a few reminders. Give us your suggestions on what categories that you would like to see us hand out awards for on the 2021 show. You are going to find a channel in the Discord in short order for category suggestions. So please participate. Let us know what awards you want to give and what you want those awards to be called. Um, on Location, our newest series. Our we just recorded the first episode. It is in production. It should be out in a few days' time. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, guys, I guess after the fall is what we're doing next, right?
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, that might be all I'm doing next.
Yeah, for real.
I want to get those Uzis that you got. I didn't
Dude,
get those.
they completely melt these guys like easily. And I dual wielded those. Like I didn't even try to just to deal with one of them. You find them two. You find two of them. You don't have to like find one and then find another. There's two of them on the table, and
I want 'em.
they work very well.
I want to get Techno
Uh,
Glitch in there so he can play. I feel bad for that dude.
Well,
He's so
okay,
he's
this
so
is the
jank.
thing. Yeah, if we get Techno Glitch in there to play, and we'll let him have the Uzis, and then he'll grab the bat and he'll start swinging the bat around because he
He'll
loves
get
the
time.
bat.
He'll get timed out. We'll get AI Jimmy back.
The Uzis are so good, especially in that last scene right before you get up into the boss fight, where you can take high ground if you want, and then they kind of climb up to you.
Mm.
You can if you have the Uzis, you can completely prevent any of them from climbing up. Like you can just melt them immediately as soon as their head pops up, like all dead.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome.
Need to
I
get it.
want 'em.
Yeah.
I just can't wait. I can't wait to just keep upgrading my weapons and going into that thing and just like ripping parts off and putting new shit on. You can see the way it's gonna look like you got like your piece and shit onto it. You know what I mean? You're like cobbing stuff onto these things. It's gonna look cool, man. I can't wait.
Those guns look so good.
Yeah.
Best guns I've ever seen in a game, so far, hands down, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, just because this is our last scheduled show does not mean it's the last show. We do have the upload VR showcase tomorrow, so I'm sure we're going to want to give some thoughts on that. I think Eric's going to be live on Facebook tomorrow night to give some reaction to it. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say, you guys are. I
Yeah.
know Wes, I got to go to work, but you guys are welcome to come in and hang out and talk if you guys want. Something you want to talk about. So
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I
I
told you
got
I would be there.
Door is always
I'll-
open for you guys.
I'll
to come in.
definitely be there. So
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I've got to leave at 10, but I might can pop in for a little bit before I
Yeah.
leave and give some thoughts, especially if something super cool gets announced.
Yeah, I was gonna live stream it, but I'm nervous. Somebody was asking earlier in chat if we were gonna have live reactions. I'm just nervous, man.
what time is it?
Duds.
What time is it?
It's early, right? Like noon Eastern.
Is it noon Eastern or noon Pacific? I'm not sure.
I would say I wouldn't. You're already doing a live show tomorrow night. Why live shit? You know what I mean? You just don't. They're notorious for not having shit. And what's the difference of whether you do it live or later? I think it'd be better for us to talk about it after you've looked into it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Plus, our friends are live streaming it. GT's going to be live streaming it. Without Parole are going to be live streaming it. I'll probably be bouncing back and forth between the two of those,
Yeah,
depending on what gets announced.
yeah, absolutely.
And Wolveraza says, wait until the PSVR 2 comes out and Quest actually has competition. A lot of speculation, all pointing to the PlayStation VR 2 being revealed this month in December. Um, when you watch Without Parole, they act like they know something, man, and they fully expect there to be a reveal this month. I can assure you, if that gets revealed this month, we will have an episode to talk about it the next day, if not that very same day. People pointing to the Game Awards as a maybe a kickoff point for it. Maybe we see some games, PSVR 2 games during the Game Awards. I don't know. I know I'll be watching and hopeful that that is the case. Anyway, the point is that we're not going anywhere. We're going to be around. There's going to be episodes, and we're going to be doing streams. Honestly, we'll probably
Do more.
have some kind of a stream before next Wednesday rolls around. We'll probably be streaming something for your viewing enjoyment.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Travel Man 3775 says supposed to be 5 new game announcements on Upload's Winter Showcase. So there you go. Well, I already know what one of them is, and I don't want to give it away, but Fast Travel kind of let out some pretty heavy hints. So if you guys are super interested in what they're bringing out, you can find out. Just go check the socials and do a little math in your head, and you can figure out what it's going to be. But I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want anybody to feel like I've betrayed their trust. I don't know how much they want to actually put out. So, besides that, I don't know what else it could be. Do you guys have any speculation?
I don't know, man. There's so many games that we've heard that we don't have nothing about. I'd love them to come out tomorrow and say San Andreas is available today. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
I just want to be something, man. Don't puke out the same crap they've been doing the last 2 times because they gave us garbage. They gave us stuff we either already knew about or games that nobody cared about. So, give us at least. I'm not saying every title has to be like, holy crap, there's that, but give me one big one and a couple of medium titles, and make this showcase worth it. Because I tell you what, if they come out and they crap out again, I'm not watching these things anymore, man. I'm telling you right now, it's just not worth it. The last 2 to me were complete flops, and they, Upload. I love Upload, and I get a lot of my info from them. They are, I think, are dropping the ball with this thing. And I don't know if it's them with Oculus, and they're kind of like doing this together, and Oculus is talking them into doing this, but they're losing credibility with me if they keep crapping out these shitty showcases.
it's already not worth watching anyway, in my opinion, because this is the thing. And like Wes said, there's people are gonna break it down. I wait for the breakdown. It's weird to watch these shows. There's so much time wasted of just 3 hours and they don't say shit, man. Like I would be pissed if I sat there for 3 hours and got what you guys got the last 2 times. At least if there's some exciting news, you feel like you got something, right? I don't know.
Well, to be fair, it's not 3 hours. It's going to be like, I don't know, less than an hour for it. And I'm excited for it. I'm going to be watching it live. Travel Man 3775 with the $5 tip says, have a great month of 2021 show prep. I appreciate that. I think the more appropriate thing for you to say is good luck. Because even though we're not going to be on the air, we're going to be busier than we've been all year long. So good luck with trying to put together another amazing year-end celebration. In terms of scale, I think that we're going to try to scale back the awards, like not give as many awards. But I don't think we're going to scale back the giveaways at all. I think we'll probably even give more games away this year than we did last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Oprah's going to go overtime.
Oprah is there's gonna be a million Oprahs. Maybe not that many, but
last year we kind of had to divvy out the kind of fit the giveaways in between the awards. I think this year we're going to be fitting the awards in between the giveaways.
hey, I'll tell you what, that'll guarantee more people come. Although we had a lot of people come last time. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We did almost 8 hours and we held 60 people start to finish from it.
It was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Anyway, with that said, friends, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Wolveraza comes through $3, says, "Great year, guys. Awesome effort put forth. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. I like it, man. I like when you look at where we are now versus where we were at the start of the year. I like what we've done this year. We've come a long way. We've come a long way, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah.
Because of support from guys like Wolveraza, Traveling Man, and all of you who share the show with your friends. We appreciate all of you. Thank you
Yep.
very much.
Absolutely.
Anyway, again, click all the stuff, thumbs up, click the red button, click the bell. There's new stuff coming, new content coming. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you're all subbed up. If you want to do a little something extra, you can join our Patreon. $3 per month gives you our weekly show notes. It gives you exclusive content, insider updates, and more. Less than $1 a week, and your money go into the best cause to help build our little miniature empire here. So thank you very much for that. And then last but not least, of course, our home, our Discord channel. You will find an invitation in the description down below. It's where we hang out 24/7 and talk about gaming. We talk about life, and we meet up and play games together. It's an awesome place to be. It's an awesome community, and it's the best part of doing this. So we invite you all to share in that. Again, link in the description below. Please join.
Yep. Absolutely.
And with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts and Eric, I'm Wes. See you sooner than you think. Bye now.
Take it easy.
See you later.